You're watching East Tennessee Weather, powered by Rusty Wallace Automotive Group.
And good morning, 7:01, getting us started on our Thursday morning. Today's live is sponsored by East Tennessee Renovations. They are family-owned and operated residential remodeling company specializing in kitchens and bathrooms. They take pride in their communication and scheduling skills, cleanliness on the job, and overall customer service. They make their goal to make any project the most hassle-free and least impactful to the rest of your home throughout the entire process. Plus, they are aging-in-place specialists. Give my friends a call at East Tennessee Renovations at 865-233-3657 or visit them online today at easttennesseerenovations.com. All right, let's go ahead and take you outside and show you what it looks like here. Let's see if we can get this right. Let's take you outside and show you what it looks like from our cameras across East Tennessee. And again, a nice, quiet, cold start to the day. But we are continuing to see a nice day actually ahead of us today. Today's going to be one of the best days. Enjoy it. Make some sort of outdoor plans. That's actually Sevierville as we get our day started. But we are talking about a storm system set to arrive. And that storm is going to bring us increasing showers and thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow. It's also going to increase the wind once again. That's going to be the big story over the next several days. So when you highlight that, look at the big picture pattern. We've got winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories. We have some blizzard warnings across the country, not to mention a lot of wind from Texas into the southeastern U.S. So what we experienced just the other day will likely take place once again throughout the day tomorrow. So tough travel ahead of us over the next couple of days. This is the big picture pattern. Again, you can see that low pressure system coming in out of Colorado. We've got another little clipper system across the Great Lakes. That won't affect us. Actually, it's going to be gorgeous and a little bit breezy today, but watch your future cast across the country. I mean, the low pressure is going to dive its way down across the southern Great Plains, pick up a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, swing across the southeast, producing severe weather across East Tennessee and much of the region. And as it does so, that is going to bring us the wind, the storms, and crashing temperatures as we head into the weekend, and even more so as we get into next week. So good morning, everyone. 7:03 right now. Checking that time so you don't run late here to get the day started. I do want to show you what it looks like on the TDOT cameras here this morning as well. We don't have any major issues to get the day started, which is great news to pass along. That's a live look there from the TDOT cameras, so we'll dive right into the details. We'll go down into the Maryville community. Let's see what it looks like on Alcoa Highway, down closer to Maryville, and right around Hunt Road, and traffic is running smoothly there. We also have nice quiet conditions in and around downtown, so we'll take you to the downtown camera and show you what it looks like from downtown Knoxville, 275 and Interstate 40. Nice sunrise taking shape here to get the day started. And let's see if we can get that camera to load. And it's not going to load. How about let's try 275? How about, you can see the nice clear skies out there. Interstate 275 and Baxter Avenue. Things are running smoothly here this morning as well. So nice to get the day started with the nice quiet and dry conditions. But again, today is going to be a day to enjoy and get out and enjoy some of that beautiful weather. All right, let's go to the weather maps. I'm actually going to be going to the weather wall here just a little bit to dive into the details of what we can expect here over the next several days. So stick with me, my friends. This is going to be a long edition because we have a lot to talk about. So let's go to the weather. Let's come back to this because you don't have my microphone. So here we go. If it's not one thing, it's another. There we go. Now you should have my microphone. Now you got two microphones. How about that? Let's go back to the weather wall, shall we? Oh, boy, my friends. All right, so here we go. Temperatures currently in the 20s and 30s. That sounds better, right? Oh, thanks, Chris. Thanks. Thanks, Chris. All right, here we go. So nothing going on around East Tennessee here this morning. We do have nice clear skies, so nothing showing up on the road conditions. Good news there. Road temperatures are on the chilly side, but obviously no travel troubles because we don't have any moisture in place. But visibility, not a big deal. Clear skies, a little bit of fog showing up in Hawkins, Hancock counties, up into Union and Claiborne counties as well. But let's talk about the story, shall we? Today is going to be the warm before the storm. Beautiful weather today. A good day to get out and enjoy the weather around East Tennessee because we are talking about those big changes. Showers, thunderstorms, and more wind moves in tomorrow. Very similar to what we experienced over the last couple of days when it came to the wind, so foothills, mountains. But the good news is it doesn't look like we'll see as much rainfall as what we saw just the other day as well. It's going to be colder into the weekend and even colder air with an Arctic air mass set to arrive throughout the day tomorrow. I take that back. Next week. All right, your out the door forecast this morning, 20s and 30s. We should climb into the upper 40s by noon today. Nothing but sunshine, gorgeous weather, no future cast to show you. We'll see those temps climb into the low to mid 50s. So above average weather, beautiful, nice evening ahead of us, but temperatures drop pretty quickly once the sun goes down. It is January by all means. We'll be right around 40 degrees by 9 o'clock tonight. So we'll be clear as when the sun goes down tonight and enjoy that. Now here comes the wind. Here come the clouds. We're going to be rain-free to get our Friday morning started, but it doesn't stay that way all day. So low temperatures will drop down into the 30s. We are rain-free to get the day started, but here are those changes. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a level 1 risk for strong to severe thunderstorms around East Tennessee tomorrow. And the timing of that looks to be after the lunch hour. So that's the peak heating of the day. It's going to be windy. That's when the winds are going to be cranking up. So let's talk wind for a second. Again, the National Weather Service has issued, once again, from Friday morning through Saturday morning, wind advisories here in the valley, just like what we saw the other day. South wind at 25 to 35 miles per hour, gusting to about 50. And the mountains and foothills could see winds out of the south-southeast, 30 to 50 miles per hour, but gusting to 80 miles per hour once again. So insult to injury for everybody that was affected by the wind just the other day. You can see another depiction of how this wind's going to be cranking up. Here's noon. So noon, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. That's when we're going to see the strongest sustained winds when we're talking wind gusts. Again, this is the valley locations. We could see winds gusting to about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So that's something to watch. Here's a different way of looking at it. We pick up our timeline at noon tomorrow, and look at the winds going to be cranking. These are wind gusts, but again, 30, 40, 50, even higher across the mountains. Here comes the cold front. That cold front's going to, if we can tap into those upper level winds with the storms that do fire up tomorrow, that could bring damaging wind gusts, and that would be the main threat out of any of the storms or severe storms that we possibly could see tomorrow afternoon. All right, so here's the future cast, 7 o'clock Friday morning. Clouds increase throughout the day on Friday. We'll stop the clock at noon. Cold front's going to be just off to our west at noon. We'll have scattered showers and a few thunderstorms, but here comes the main cold front from noon to 2. The cold front's going to be slicing through central East Tennessee. That's where we're going to see some of the strongest winds. And then from noon to 4, the storm system starts to work its way on out of here. And then we'll see, well, drier weather conditions. And it doesn't look like we'll see much in the form of snow on the backside of the system. So forecast highs on Friday. We should make it into the mid to upper 50s. It's going to be warm and very windy and stormy. 3-day forecast, 53 today, near 60 tomorrow, and then down into the 40s. Colder air moves in behind this cold front for the upcoming weekend, but it doesn't stop there. If this is all you need to know, by the way, have a great day, but I'm going to keep going on with the forecast. We're going to take you to the big picture, okay? So if anybody has any travel plans, do you drive a semi-truck? Do you have friends or family members that drive semi-trucks? Tomorrow is going to be very tough travel along Interstate 40 due to the wind and, of course, the possibility of some strong thunderstorms. So this is really the storm potential and the wind potential, really. So widespread wind across the entire region with the strongest winds up along the Appalachian Mountains, and that's going to be with us really through the next couple of days. The wind advisories are not just here locally, but around the entire region. Again, the mountains of East Tennessee have that high wind warning where we're expecting the strongest wind. So we're keeping it on wind for now across the region. And remember I said, traveling Interstate 40 tomorrow, not only are you going to run into the rain, but here's Interstate 40 right here in the center of your screen. Watch how these strong winds come in with the strong low pressure system through the day tomorrow. Those winds are going to be cranking across the entire region. Yeah, it's going to be making for some tough travel, not just regionally, but locally as well. Now let's switch over to the severe weather potential, because as we track this storm system, not only does it bring us the wind, but it brings us the severe weather potential today to our south and west, excuse me, and then across the southeastern U.S. as we get into our Friday as the cold front swings its way through. And that's where we'll have the elevated risk for severe weather. So when you look at the Storm Prediction Center, the ones who issue that risk for severe storms, level 1, 2, and 3 risk to our south and southwest for the day today. And then tomorrow, that risk continues. And again, places that get hit hard just the other day with our cold front, again, another chance for severe weather. And then across the Tennessee Valley, we do have that marginal risk. So isolated severe weather risk looking possible here across the Tennessee Valley. So we pick up our timeline Friday morning, low pressure system to our west. Here it comes across the state of Tennessee and across the deep south. There's noon again tomorrow. Cold front slicing its way through East Tennessee from noon to about 4. That brings us the heavy rain, the strongest wind gusts, and the potential for those severe storms. And then it races off to the northeast. But notice we don't have really a huge potential for seeing much in the form of snow out of this system. So with your rainfall forecast, in generally speaking, not nearly as much as we saw. I mean, remember, we saw 1 to 5 inches of rainfall just the other day. So this is not going to produce a lot of rain or as much rain, but convective storms can produce some locally heavy downpours. The ground is saturated. The creeks and rivers are swollen. So this is going to be insult to injury, not to mention the wind that we're going to be having. Temperature trend. We're going to drop into the 40s for the weekend. We're going to be in the upper 20s to low 30s as we get into next week. Those are high temperatures. Low temperatures, we're talking single digits, teens and 20s with this Arctic air mass. Okay, so now we've got the cold air in place, but do we see any moisture with this cold air? The potential is yes, okay? And here's what I'm going to say about this. The snow totals have, the trend is going downward for the amount of snow that we could possibly see around East Tennessee, first of all. Second of all, it's coming through on a holiday, okay? Monday's a holiday, kids are out of school, banks are closed, a lot of places are going to be closed on Monday. And so the impact of this storm goes down because not a lot of folks are going to be out and about because we're going to be home, right? So here's Monday morning and a little slice of moisture. Now, anything that falls in this air mass is going to be in the form of snow. We're talking highs in the 20s and 30s, lows in the teens and 20s and single digits. So it is going to be in the form of snow. So this is not an official snowfall forecast. This just gives us an idea of what we can anticipate. And again, you got light, moderate to heavy. So light to moderate snowfall possibly across west, middle Tennessee up into Kentucky. Here in East Tennessee, possibly just some light snowfall. But because the air is going to be so cold, it's going to be a light, fluffy snow. It's not going to have a lot of moisture content. And so therefore, if we were to get a couple quick bursts of snow out of this, and again, this is next Monday, so we still have a lot of time to see how this all plays out. But if we were, it'd pile up a little bit quicker. And the ground is colder, so it's going to allow it to stick just a little bit longer. So something to keep in mind. The Climate Prediction Center is saying, okay, not only are we going to be cold next week, but we actually could be staying on the chilly side all the way through the latter part of the month. So we are looking at some changes on the way, my friends. Arctic air is moving its way into much of our region. Are we ready for the cold air? All right, we're back here this morning. Hopefully you got everything you needed to know. I'm glad I got my microphone fixed on that one. Let's go to the chat and say hi to everybody, see how everybody's doing this morning. Let's see what we have. Let's see. We got some coffee going on this morning. We've got heavy frost in Maynardville. Thanks, Mary Beth Miles, for sharing that this morning. We've got Lenore City on here. Good morning. Let's see. Kimberly says, do you think we will have a bad winter? Listen, I think the pattern is shifting, right? And so we've talked about this and how we get more rain, more moisture down to the south associated with El Nino. But it's a matter of, do we get the cold air in place? And now we're going to start to see that threat for some colder air, the Arctic air. And that's going to be the story. If we can get that cold air in place and get the moisture to come in, then yeah. But it kind of depends on what you mean, Kimberly, by a bad winter. Are we talking a bad winter when it comes to cold and Arctic air? Are we talking a bad winter because of potential snow anyways? When we're talking cold air, can we get some Arctic outbreaks with this with El Nino? Sure. But typically it's a little bit further to the north. And so typically during an El Nino year, we're about average, if not maybe a little bit warmer. And we could see about average or maybe a little bit more moisture thanks to more storms swinging in from the south. All right, good morning, Dina, and Felicia's on here as well. Let's see. She says, happy Thursday. Hoping the kiddos are okay in the valley coming home tomorrow. Well, I'll be curious to see what the school districts do with this one, right? Because you saw, I don't know what some of the other school districts, what kind of heat they took from this past one. I know Knox County took quite a bit of heat from some of the parents by calling schools out with like 30 minutes, 45 minutes for you to get their kids, or at least get home for your kids to be, for you to be home when you get the kids. But then, of course, they did a 2-hour delay yesterday due to the expected winds. And so, that's kind of been the conversation. So with that said, and the history of what just happened, do we see them probably call school or do something like that? Maybe. Because, listen, I mean, the storm's going to be coming through between about noon and 4, and with the potential for severe weather. So now you add the severe storms on top of it, not just the heavy rain and not just the wind, but you have the wind to, insult to injury. So I'll be curious to see what the school districts do, but it wouldn't surprise me if school gets canceled tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me. So we'll see what they say, huh? We'll see what they say. All right, it's cold 27 degrees and big frost right now in White Pine. Good morning, Debbie. Thanks for the report this morning. We've got Greenback on here as well. Let's see. Who else do we have? We've got Greene County, Frost in Greene County, and Glenda. She's joining on YouTube this morning. Thanks for joining and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Here's the deal. Heads up for the wind tomorrow, okay? Greene County. Big-time winds. I'm sure you got a lot of wind just the other day. Big-time wind again heading your way tomorrow, so something to keep in mind. We saw some wind damage up across the foothills and mountain counties. And so, a good friend of mine on here, Jen, she's got, let's see, where is she? I believe she's Granger County. I don't know if Jen's on here this morning, but I think she's Granger County, but she has a big farm. No, maybe she's in Blount County, but she's got a big farm, and they had a little bit of wind damage, and we were talking about that over the last couple of days. Let's see, today says the last 2 years, Memphis has gotten more snow and cold than we have. They are projecting 6 to 8 inches of snow and much colder temperatures there. Why is this happening? It's all about storm track, Denise, all about storm track. Memphis, listen, they get a lot more severe weather, west and middle Tennessee, and sometimes they'll get more snow based on the storm tracks of these storms, because if the storms come in through middle Tennessee or right over east Tennessee, the heaviest snow is to the west and northwest of the center of low pressure. That's where we get the heaviest snow. You get that wraparound moisture thrown into the colder air, and it's typically about 100 miles or so to the west-northwest of the center of low pressure. And so when these lows track right over east Tennessee, that puts middle and west Tennessee a little bit more in the bullseye. So it's all about storm track, and you got to realize west Tennessee is always cold, or typically colder, because they're typically, when we get these Arctic outbreaks or these colder air masses to come in, they typically dive over into West Tennessee, sometimes more so than us. And then as the storm lifts its way northward, so does the colder air. So good question this morning. Chrissy says, come on, snow. And good morning from Seymour. We've got Kodak on here as well, and Gatlinburg. So Janet, heads up, Gatlinburg could see some very strong winds again tomorrow. So again, the mountain counties are going to see some very strong winds. For those of you just now tuning in, if you are just now tuning in, I'm going to recap some of the weather. We'll do a shortened version here, but just kind of give everyone an update, and then I'll send you back to the 24-hour weather channel, and you can go about your day, and I sure hope you, have a wonderful day. Just resetting my weather maps here, and let's go back to the weather maps. Again, forecast highs. Today's going to be a great day. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine, a nice lunch hour ahead of us with temperatures pushing the mid to upper 40s by noon, and our goal today is going to be in the low to mid 50s, maybe some upper 50s near Chattanooga. So really a nice little weather pattern ahead of us today. That is the warm before the storm. The storm system arrives tomorrow, so let's walk you through that futurecast model. We pick up our timeline tonight at 7 o'clock, and the clouds will be increasing tonight along with the wind. We do have that wind advisory and high wind warning that goes into effect at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So through the day tomorrow, heavy rain, thunderstorms, and very strong wind is heading our way. So we'll start the morning off on Friday down into the 30s. So that's not too terribly bad, but we do have a marginal risk for severe weather. That's a level number 1 risk by the Storm Prediction Center. So isolated in nature, if we can tap into some of those upper level winds with some of these storms, if we can get them to reach those winds and bring them down to the surface, that would bring us some damaging wind gusts, which would be the main threat out of the storm system heading our way tomorrow. So the National Weather Service has already issued a wind advisory. Winds could be gusting in the valley and the plateau up to about 50 miles per hour. This runs from Friday morning till Saturday morning. High wind warning for the mountains. Gusts can be anticipated up to 80 miles per hour. So when you look at your wind speed trend tomorrow, you can see as we get past the lunch hour, that's when the winds are going to be cranking the strongest. and that's when the cold front's going to be coming on through. So noon to 4 is when the possibility of some strong thunderstorms roll on through. 3-day forecast, 53 today, 59, warm, windy, and stormy on into our Friday, with improving conditions as we get into the weekend. However, it is going to be a chilly weekend with temperatures hovering right around 40, and those temperatures will drop pretty quickly. And then next week, we are talking about that Arctic air mass that's going to set up shop and roll its way on into the area. So we sure hope you have a wonderful and safe day today. Thanks for tuning in to the broadcast here this morning. I am meteorologist Mike Witcher, and I'm broadcasting from the Mike Stevens Home Studios. Thanks to Rusty Wallace Automotive Group for sponsoring out, and everybody that's been a huge sponsor of East Tennessee Weather. I will tell you some good news. If you are a Christian listener and listen to Christian radio, I am now on a Christian radio station. I've joined partnerships with WRJZ, Mr. Bob Bell and the program over there. So I'm on Joy 620 AM and 102.5 FM. I'm also going to be on Talk Radio 92.3, and that's AM 760 WETR. So I've joined the partnerships with WRJZ radio. And so if you are listening to the radio station, and that is one of your radio stations, you'll now start to hear my weather forecast there as well. And I've got another radio station coming to the market here soon, so I'll highlight that, of course, in the coming days. I am going to send you back to the 24-hour Weather Channel. I wouldn't be here without all my sponsors, so thank you very much for that. Again, we will continue to highlight the forecast. Make sure you check back in. Just enjoy today for what it is, because it is going to be an absolutely beautiful afternoon. Sunshine, and again, temperatures in the 50s. Be prepared for that Arctic air next week. Make sure you prepare your houses as well accordingly, because that's going to be the coldest air of the season. All right, no questions out there this morning. I guess we sure hope you have a great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow, and of course on social media. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure you pass along the word for the East Tennessee Weather app. We'll see you back here tomorrow, my friends.
Since 1982, Mike Stevens Homes has built a place for your most cherished and treasured memories. We know the events that take place within the walls of our homes are the stuff of life, and we don't take that responsibility lightly. Our design process starts with you. Every home we build is as unique as the person or the family we're building for. I'm Mike Stevens, and I'd love to talk to you about your new home in your new neighborhood. Let us create the perfect place for your memories of baby's first steps, Thanksgiving with your parents, grandparents, and cousins, and the million treasured moments you'll be thinking of 20 years from now. Mike Stevens Homes doesn't build houses. We build places where your memories happen.
Hey guys, Mark Trout at Rusty Wallace Chevrolet in Clinton. We're looking to save you more than ever before in 2024. We have rates starting as low as 0.9% and the largest inventory we've had in over 4 years. And as always, we have Rusty's exclusive 200,000-mile warranties. So find new roads to Rusty Wallace Chevrolet in Clinton, or visit us online at rustywallacechevrolet.com, where Chevys cost less.
You're watching East Tennessee Weather. Weather when you want it.
Hi, everyone. Sure hope you have a wonderful and safe day. Today is the day to enjoy, because big changes are on the way. This is the warm before the storm. While it be a little bit on the chilly side this morning, we're going to warm nicely here this afternoon. The wind picks up, and here we go. Showers, thunderstorms, and wind move in on Friday. A cold weekend, but even colder weather on the way, with Arctic air settling its way on in. I've got you covered over the next 20 to 30 minutes, so stay with me, and I'll keep you posted on everything weather here across East Tennessee and our region. But your out-the-door forecast, we start off with the 20s and 30s. We'll climb into the upper 40s by noon. Our goal today, we're going to be in the mid-50s. A beautiful day. Nothing to show you on the future cast here today. That's going to make for a nice, quiet evening. By 5, we're right around 50 degrees. 9 o'clock tonight, we're back down to about 40 degrees. We've got wind advisories, high wind warnings. Those are all back in place across East Tennessee. I'll highlight that with your 3-day forecast and walk you through that future cast. That's coming up in just a few minutes. All right, let's go ahead and pick up your timeline now. 7 o'clock tonight, run you through our Friday morning. Mostly clear, but increasing clouds. It'll likely be, well, probably mostly cloudy as we get started on our Friday morning. As clouds start to creep their way on in, we should be rain-free Friday morning, but that's when things begin to change as the strong cold front comes through. We'll start off with temperatures in the 30s. It is going to be a warm and windy day. The Storm Prediction Center has us under a level 1 risk for strong thunderstorms as the cold front comes through late morning into the early afternoon. That cold front and strong low pressure system is once again going to produce a lot of wind around the area, so we have wind advisories and high wind warnings. Same locations, same folks that were affected by the wind. We're still looking at another event heading our way as we get into our Friday. Look at this. This is our wind speed trend through the day on Friday. You can see as we get into the afternoon and early evening hours, that's when the cold front's going to come through. These are sustained winds. Wind gusts could be gusting up to around 40 to 50 miles per hour during the afternoon. And that's in the valley, even higher wind gusts, again, up to about 80 miles per hour across the mountains. Here's another depiction of that. Cold fronts can be sliding through right around the lunchtime hour. You can see by noon, look at those southeasterly winds cranking off the mountains across the foothills and mountains. That is the story. As the cold front swings through, the winds will begin to back off, but still rather gusty behind the cold front. And that's going to produce some winds throughout our Saturday as well. So here's your future cast. We'll take you from Friday morning through Friday afternoon. You can see the showers and thunderstorms will ramp their way back up through the day on Friday. There's the cold front swinging its way through during the afternoon and early evening hours, and then quieter weather back behind it. And unfortunately for you snow lovers, it just doesn't look like we're going to see much in the way of snow with this system. High temperatures Friday will top out in the 50s. 3-day forecast, we'll see temperatures coming back down, crashing temperatures as we get into our Saturday. But my friends, that is not the coldest air. That's heading our way next week with Arctic air set to arrive and a chance for snow. I'll talk details with that big picture weather pattern and your 7-day temperature trend. That's coming up in just a few.
Hey, East Tennessee, it's Chad from Rusty Wallace Honda. It's 2024 and you're going to save like never before. Get rates as low as 0.9%. You'll save thousands on new vehicles and you'll get more for your trade than ever before. Get to the intersection of selection. Rusty Wallace Honda.
let's go ahead and recap those weather headlines. Today is the warm before the storm. Showers, thunderstorms, and a lot of wind head our way tomorrow. It's going to be chilly this weekend, but a reinforced shot of even colder air next week as Arctic air is set to arrive. Let's go ahead and walk you through the regional details. Severe weather outlook today is well to our south and southwest, but that's going to slide its way across the south and southeastern U.S. as we head through the day tomorrow. The Tennessee Valley has a level 1 risk for some strong thunderstorms, so isolated in nature, but still a chance does exist. So here's that storm potential throughout the day today. You can see how we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms ramp up to our south and west, and then it swings its way into the southeastern U.S. The wind is going to be an issue once again, especially across the Appalachian region. Large area of non-thunderstorm winds exceeding 40 miles per hour across the entire region as well. And this takes us all the way through Sunday. So, yeah, big wind event. So we do have wind advisories and high wind warnings in place across much of the region. Those winds are going to be cranking. So here's the story. Our cold front's going to swing on through. Look at the winds going to be coming in out of the south. So anybody have travel plans on Friday, not only, especially along Interstate 40, not only are you going to have to contend with the showers and the thunderstorms, but those strong southerly winds. And even as we get into our Saturday, those winds are going to be on the strong side. All right, so here's what it looks like on the radar picture. We showed you the wind aspect. Here's the storm aspect as we go through the day on Friday. Cold front's going to be swinging its way through East Tennessee from noon to the afternoon. That's our greatest wind potential, and that's our greatest potential for seeing some strong to severe thunderstorms. And then that races on off to our north and east. Still a northwesterly flow. That's going to set up shop and bring us the chillier weather, but doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot of snow out of this one. That will change next week, so hold on a second. I'll give me a little bit more time here. Rainfall potential, we're talking about a half an inch, and generally speaking, some a little bit more, some a little bit less, but keep in mind, with all the rain that we saw just the other day, that's insult to injury. So the snowfall potential is not there for us this time around. But look at our temperature trend. Friday, we round out the week with temps near 60, warm and windy, stormy, colder over the weekend, even colder weather on the way next week, with morning lows next week in the single digits, teens, and 20s. And so it looks like this cold weather pattern is going to stick with us, not just through the 17th and the 21st, but even further than that. But remember, I said colder air is on the way and a chance for some snow. Now, it doesn't look like a huge snow potential for us, but we have set the stage for colder air. So as we head into our Sunday, Monday time frame, here we go. Round of moisture is going to be swinging its way through that Arctic air mass, and that's what's going to give us the potential for some light snow around East Tennessee. So this is not an official snowfall forecast, but you can see how the potential is going to be increasing around the area, although this is lesser amounts than what we were talking about yesterday. So that's why you got to stay tuned. I'll give you snowfall totals in the coming days ahead. We got to get through the stormy weather on our Friday first, and then rounding out the month of January, where you're likely to stay below average. We'll bring it back down to the local level. That's coming up in just a few minutes. So you saw the big picture weather pattern. Now let's bring it back down to the local level and recap everything that we're talking about through the day today, the next couple of days, because we do have showers and thunderstorms on the way tomorrow. Not today. Today is going to be the most beautiful winter day with some sunshine. Albeit cold to start the day. We're going to warm into the 50s. Thursday night tonight into tomorrow morning. And the clouds will be on the increase across the Southern Valley. And so likely to see probably a pretty good sunrise for some of us. We're going to be rain-free to get our Friday started with morning low temperatures in the 30s. So thank goodness we're going to see dry conditions because it'd be cold enough to support snow. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a level 1 risk for strong to severe thunderstorms for us here locally. We do have wind advisories and high wind warnings back in place, so a very windy event heading our way once again, just like what we saw yesterday. Winds are going to be sustained during the afternoon, 25, 30, 35 miles per hour, but gusting to 50 miles per hour across the lower elevations. The higher elevations, we could see those winds gusting to about 80 miles per hour. So 3-day forecast. Today we're at 53. Tomorrow, warm, windy, and near 60. Showers and thunderstorms, and then falling temperatures as we head into the weekend. So your weekend forecast, a damp start to our Saturday, becoming mostly sunny and chilly. Temperatures will stay in the 40s. But remember, that colder Arctic air arrives next week with highs only in the 20s and 30s and lows in the single digits.